Hi, I'm Greg Mertz. We're on session number 4 of the New England Wildlife Center's a comparative anatomy and physiology course. I'm sitting here amidst a number of skeletons, and what I wanted to talk about today was just a little bit about bones and bone structure on different kinds of animals. To my left here, this is Fred. Fred is not in very good shape, but Fred is a human skeleton. On my lap is a horse skull, and then in my left hand here is a turtle shell. And what I wanted to talk about a little bit is the construction of a turtle shell and how it compares to different parts of the body of a human or another vertebrate. Turtles are vertebrates, and which means that they have a spinal cord, they have vertebrae, and if you look on the inside of the shell, this part of the shell is called the carapace, you will see the spinal, the vertebrae that make the spinal column, and off of that you see ribs that are coming just like on us. So if we look at Fred here, this is his chest, and in the back of Fred there are vertebrae in the backbone, and then you look at the front, and connecting the front to the back of the body, to the spinal cords, or to the spinal column, are ribs. And as these ribs come around, they create a section of our front that we call the sternum, which, when you tap on your chest, is actually the hard part that's right in the middle. And you can actually, you take your fingers and rub your fingers down over your body, and you actually can stick your fingers between the various ribs. On the carapace, the carapace of this animal, of the turtle, is the same thing as the back of Fred. Now, pieces of Fred are going to fall off here, but to make my point, I'm going to pick Fred up and show you his back. And if you look at the spinal cord, the vertebrae here, the ribs are coming out. And if this was all fused together into a solid piece of bone, and what it would mean is that each one of these ribs had grown outwards and joined the rib next to it. If each one of these ribs were to join, to splay down, to grow broadly into the next rib, you would have the carapace of a turtle shell. And you can actually see here, if you look very carefully, you can see the ribs broaden out and actually touch the next rib, and the next rib, and the next rib, and it creates a complete shell that is then later covered by skin. Okay, so just think about that. What you're seeing is the outside of a turtle shell is actually skin. And if you flip it over and look in the inside of that skin, there is a bony covering. It's very similar to a skull, okay? Very similar to the covering you would see. This is a horse skull here. And what do we see when we look at a horse? Well, we see the outer layer of skin. And that skin covers a layer of bone. Just like this is a layer of skin and this is a layer of bone. Makes a very, very strong protective encasement. And on the case of on the skull, it's protecting the nervous system, the central nervous system of this animal, just like on us. And in the case of the turtles have taken that design one step farther, and what they're trying to do, or what they have done, is that they protect all the soft organs of the body. You can have a skull, a shell that covers the top part of the animal. You can also have a shell that covers the lower part, the underside of the animal. And in this particular case, this is a snapping turtle's plastron, the underside. And that is made of this underside is ribs that have adapted, but then in the middle is where our sternum would be. So the sternum on Fred, I can get him back up again. Here is his sternum, and this is the plastron of a turtle. And so you can see these similarities. You can also see some differences. The basic body plan is the same, but there are some extensions of the plan that help protect a turtle from all kinds of damage. Turtles have been on Earth for 210 million years. It is a body design that works really well for turtles. All right, that's great for today. Thank you very much. We'll come back on session 5 and look at another organ system. Thank you very much.